Yes, I was a Fenway Park vendor, and I'll just do one. Coke here, okay? All right. Thank you all for staying. My story takes place back in January of 1986. Things were a little different back then. I, for one, had a full head of hair. I miss it terribly. Back then, the internet didn't exist like it does today, right? So to get our news, some of the younger people, this blows them away, but we relied on television and radio and newspapers. That was it. So my story is all about the night my sister won $28 million in the lottery. I got your attention. Okay. My sister and I were home from college on winter break. In Massachusetts, where I grew up in Greater Boston. Massachusetts has its own baby version of Powerball called Megabucks. And throughout the fall and into the winter, nobody hit the jackpot that's run every week. The jackpot just grew and grew and grew. By January, the jackpot had grown to that $28 million. So back then, what they did is, you might have seen these on TV, they do the ping pong balls and they do the live drawings on Saturday nights. So if you missed the drawing, you had to wait till the 11 o'clock news, maybe catch the number on the radio or wait for the newspaper the next morning. That was about it. So sidetrack, as a Bostonian guy, I'm a big sports fan, big Patriots fan. And yes, they did exist before Tom Brady. So in 1985, that team surprised everyone and went all the way to the Super Bowl before getting crushed by the Chicago Bears in Super Bowl 20, 46-10. Right. So on this particular Saturday night, the Patriots were playing the Los Angeles Raiders, and I had to look that up because they've moved around a little bit. So my family, we were all assembled in the living room. My father, Paul, my stepmother, Carol, my sister, Mary, and I. We were watching the big game, and the winner of this game will go to the AFC Championship game against the Miami Dolphins. So it was about midway through the second quarter, and we ordered takeout. We ordered Chinese food from our favorite restaurant. And my stepmother, Carol, and Mary, they volunteered to go pick up the food. So before they left, Mary asked me to do one thing. She said, Mike, I played Megabucks. At halftime, could you please turn the station to Channel 5, because they're going to do the live drawing at halftime. I said, sure, no problem. I played too. Consider it done. So they left. And Dad and I were talking a little bit, and the halftime whistle blew, and I changed the channel. Now, out of the corner of my eye, I noticed that Mary had left her purse over by the fireplace. I was like, Carol's driving. Carol's paying. We were college kids. We didn't have any money. No big deal. So we change the channel. We get ready for the live ping pong balls. I grab a piece of paper and a pen. Ping pong balls come out. I take the number down as she instructed. 4, 7, 9, 12, 32, 33. I checked my number. I didn't win any. I didn't match one number. So I put the piece of paper in my pocket for safekeeping. So then, Dad and I were, we were just in the living room. We were chatting and saying, yeah, too bad you didn't win, blah, blah, blah. Wouldn't it be great if Mary won? Yeah, of course it would be great. How her life would change. Poor college kid, instant millionaire. Maybe our lives would change. $28 million is a lot of money. Maybe she'll be generous and share the wealth. So, Dad also noticed that Mary's purse was over by the fireplace. And then, it was like in the cartoons. Well, those light bulbs went off over both of our heads, went on over both of our heads. But these were evil light bulbs. And we said, Mary actually could win megabucks. So I was tasked with going through my sister's purse. Now, this is something I would never, ever do, but I had to for this extremely dastardly deed. And those of you that know me, you're probably changing your opinion of me right about now. So I went over to the fireplace, grabbed her purse, found her wallet, and I located her megabucks ticket. I extracted it, making careful note where it was, and I took a second piece of paper and wrote down her numbers: 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 29. And I placed that piece of paper on the coffee table. And Dad and I were just kind of beaming because we knew we had something cooking here. So a few minutes later, Carol and Mary returned with the Chinese food. We all went into the kitchen, fixed our plates, grabbed our drinks, and we returned to the living room for the second half of the game. And Dad and I just keep looking at each other saying, this is gonna be awesome, right? So, nothing happened. About 15 minutes went by, and Mary forgot all about the lottery drawing. So finally I say to her, I say, hey, Mary, I took the megabuck number down like you asked. It's over there on the coffee table. I didn't win, but good luck. So then I think she'd go check her number. Nope. She went back to watching the game. So finally, at the commercial break, Mary stands up and goes over to her purse. And Dad and I look at each other again. This is it. And I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be good. It's showtime. So Mary gets her wallet out and finds her megabucks ticket. And she's standing in front of the TV. And then she reaches over to the coffee table and grabs the piece of paper with the winning numbers that I had placed. And then it happened. My sister, her face turned to a whiter shade of pale. Ghost-like white. You seen Casper? That was it. She trembled, and her hands shook like this. And I saw her knees were bending, they were buckling. And before us, she announced, just like this, I think I won megabucks. And Dad and I are like, come on, don't yank our chain, don't do that. And she said, no, I'm very serious. Michael, come here. Please check my numbers and make sure I'm not seeing things. So I jumped right up. This is big stuff. I jumped right up. I go over to see the piece of paper. I look at them. They matched. Mary won megabucks. This was unbelievable. We all went crazy. Dad and I did our best Oscar-winning performance. Carol, not knowing anything, she was just off the charts. And we were all dancing and hugging. And Mary, the poor college kid, is now a multi-millionaire, probably thinking how she's going to spend her first million. She's going crazy. We're all hugging. She's jumping. The old saying, white man can't jump. I'm not going to jump. So she's going crazy, absolutely nuts, right? And we're all, and then, this is when I about lost it. She's yelling, $28 million, $28 million, $28 million. And I had to get out of there. I was kind of started laughing. So I went into the kitchen and I just stood over the kitchen sink and smiled. Biggest smile of my life, and it held for about 25 seconds. And then I burst out laughing. And as I laughed, the living room became silent. Mary knew something was very bad. She knows that we stung her. And I came out and I took the real winning number out of my pocket, and Dad and I confessed our evil deed to my sister. Carol gave us that look, and she chewed us out because we were scoundrels, and we deserved it. And Mary went from that ghost-like white, absolute joy, and think of the emotional roller coaster. Poor college kid, multi-millionaire, poor college kid. In a matter of minutes, her white face turned to that of Harvard Crimson. She was pissed. She did not say anything, though. She didn't say anything to us the rest of the night. She didn't say anything to us the rest of the weekend. To this day, she has never forgiven Dad and I. We talk about this when we get together at family gatherings, and she clams up. Now, I know what we did was very mean, but there's a few of us in the older generation. For those of you that remember the old show Fantasy Island with Mr. Rourke and Tattoo, Dad and I provided Mary with a life experience that few people will ever know. For Mary knows exactly how it feels to win $28 million in the lottery. Now, I am well aware that revenge is a dish best served cold. And I know that someday, it's almost 40 years, but someday she will get even. So when we do go visit the family, I tend to sleep with one eye open because I know my day is coming. Thank you.